We have an awesome show for you guys today.
The greatest eventer of all time.
Good news for the sport.
Phillip Dutton joins us today. It is an awesome show. We're going to check in with Horse Trailer Pros. We'll be right back.
Want to advertise on the John and Rick Show? Contact John at 352-875-8622.
Or call Rick at 850-879-2649.
For a horse owner on the road, your trailer is essential. No one enjoys being stuck on the road. At Horse Trailer Pros, we repair, renovate, and maintain all makes and models of horse trailers. We work directly with your insurance company or manufacturer for warranty repairs and insurance claims. Our state-of-the-art facility provides quick turnaround and friendly customer service. Considering a living quarter conversion? We do those too. Find comfort on the road with Horse Trailer Pros. Call or text 352-804-2131. HorseTrailerPros.com.
Welcome to the John and Rick Show, brought to you by Horse Trailer Pros. John, we have a great show. We have Phillip Dutton, legendary rider, been on so many Olympics I can't even count, represented Australia and now the United States, a vital team member for us. Can't wait to have him and see what we talk about Aachen and a lot of other things. What have you been up to besides laking it up in Wisconsin?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. We went to Vegas and watched the UFC fights and saw every celebrity you could imagine. And
Did
then,
you?
yeah, I mean, well, in the fighting world, I was actually one row away from one of the Fox News anchors, which was pretty cool. Martha
I don't
McCallum-
even know who
Martha,
those
Martha
are.
McCallum was right there. She was pretty
Never
awesome.
heard of her.
Oh, come on. Lots of fighters. We had a great time. Then we went up. We were skiing on the lake. I didn't tell you this yet because I felt like it would have more effect on air. The boat is dead.
Did it blow up?
Oh my God, it's so dead. We put it in the water, kind of ran. It was pretty good. It's so loud. And then it died. And then we realized we had gas, but maybe not enough gas. So then we got towed, put gas in the tank. It ran great for a little bit, kind of, but loud and not as fast as we would have liked. We were like, okay, maybe this is the boat. And then we fiddled with a couple things and sorted out the gas because it kept dying on us. And then we had it, and then the jet drive blew. It exploded. And that was the end of that. So
what boat did you use after that?
my mom has a very nice pontoon boat with a big engine that's big enough so you can ski behind it.
What is it, 100 horsepower, 150?
300.
300?
Yeah, we only go mega horsepowers. Yeah.
Is it two 150s or one 300?
No, it's 1-300.
Holy moly. That's like you could go 100 miles an hour with a skier.
It's not quite that fast. It's a big pontoon, so it needs that oomph.
Whatever. I've never heard of 300 horsepower on a pontoon. You can do it.
300 horsepower Evinrude. It is awesome. And it's not bad to ski behind because you can't pull the pontoon around. That said, we had a great time.
Good.
And I'm home, got all the horses rolling again. We're getting ready to go. And you have an exciting trip because you guys leave like immediately for Rebecca Farm.
We do. It's scary that it's come up this fast. We're excited and we're nervous, and the mare leaves Wednesday. The day this comes out on Thursday, she'll be gone and en route, and she's going straight through on the box stall with our golf cart, and we're
You're
flying
shipping your
up
golf cart with the horse?
Yeah,
That's amazing.
I got a private shipper, and I was like, they're not taking anybody else. Why can't they take my golf cart? So they're taking my golf cart. We're just going to load it with everything and drive it on. So it has everything on it.
Honestly, that's the most Rick thing you've ever done. I love it. Putting the golf cart on the trailer to ship it all the way with your, like, professionally ship your golf cart and your horse to Rebecca Farms.
And I was excited. It's like we get a golf cart. Ronnie Beard, that we talk about a lot from Wellington, is going to be up there. He's going to fly in from judging in Chicago. Hunter
Sweet.
Jumper Show. He's going to come in and help Briggs. So we're excited for that. We got another Hottie Super Fan Pony membership owner. Her
Nice.
name is Ellie New. And Ellie New is from Texas. And she is the area 5 young rider coordinator.
Awesome connections,
So
baby.
yeah, and she was in the young riders same time Briggs was 2012, 13, 14.
Yeah, I know the new family very well. They're nice people,
Super. She's just taking her bar.
right?
Uh, kind of talked to her during that, and texted me and say, I want to be an owner with that Super Pony membership club thing. And I was like, great. So she
Sweet.
became one. So it's cool. Got 8 slots left.
All right.
But anyway, that's great. And the pony ran at chat, did great.
Yeah, I was talking to Briggs about that. He said she was good, and it was a
She
good
was
course,
good.
good weekend. So that's awesome.
Yeah. And I'm glad y'all had a good, you needed rest. You look rested, John. You look great.
I think mostly I'm sunburnt, but it was great. And it's actually, I was thinking today, it's funny, like here I am, like kind of chill, just getting back in the swing of things. We got Phillip on, who's just been at Aachen while I was on vacation. You guys haven't even completed your, we'll call it spring long yet. You're getting ready to
Right.
go do that. These seasons now, we have all these different events throughout North America and the world, and all these seasons sort of overlap each other now. Like, so you can be, one group can be done while the next group is getting ready to go, which I think is great. It's really cool.
No, it is good. The only thing I'm a little disappointed in is the spring down here is heavily loaded with
Yeah,
events and the fall is lightly loaded. And
totally.
it makes a little, although what we're finding, and I don't know if you're finding the same thing, is only the young horses coming up the ranks, right? The young thoroughbreds or whatever you have that needs to, run in novices and all that
Yeah.
need to go as much as they go because they need to get experience. But the upper level ones, we are really finding that the minimizing their runs really is beneficial.
Yeah, once they
So
know the job for
yeah,
sure.
once they know the job, and that does cut down on your need to, have options everywhere. So anyway,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
thought that
I
was an
think there's
interesting point.
certainly some spots on the autumn calendar down here in Area 3 where if a new event were getting into it, they would have a very good home to set out a good date on the calendar. And I think would still get plenty of entries. There seems to be plenty of people down here to go.
Yeah, I agree. And then we're going to be talking about this with Phil, and I kind of experienced it a little bit the last couple of weeks, but I am getting a little frustrated with our judging.
Yeah, I
And
wanted to talk about that.
I mean, Aachen obviously is one big thing, but even on our lower level uh, judging, I'm having a big problem with really, and I know the answer is that we just need to get more qualified people out there and judging. And we also need to be really more educated in the fact that I don't see how a rider that has never gone intermediate or really understands it. I get it. They can judge it, but can they really?
Well, it's a good question, and I don't really know the answer to it. I can draw parallels to other sports. Like you have officials who are calling balls and strikes in baseball, and referees who are calling catches and not catches in
They,
football and
these are
basketball.
these are zones. Those aren't subjective.
Mm,
It's not subjective. I
mm,
mean, you have a
I don't
zone.
know about that. I
I
mean,
mean, it's
baseball, they would say that's pretty subjective. And
well, I guess I think if you're gonna give a relative like comparison, it's diving, gymnastics, and ice skating. I get it. There's penalty zones. There's AI that can really help with that, and I get all that, and that can be
yeah,
fixed. It's not the way the batter swings and you get a 10, not an 8. But there are ways to fix what you're talking about.
yeah, all I'm saying is I'm not disagreeing with you. Like you want people who understand the sport and are the most experienced, but I don't know that they don't know if they're trained well. I don't know that that's mandatory. I think certainly,
I
like
I I
I think of a lady named Jean Moyer out in Seattle who was one of the best dressage coaches I ever rode with. And I think she did event, and I think she told me she did ride advanced, but it was years ago. But she didn't look like a rider. She didn't act like a rider, but she could sit on the side of the ring and tell you exactly what to do, and it worked every single time.
and those are rare, but
Yes.
I mean that's rare. And look, I get it. We can't always have the people that do that, but at least they've got to understand and be consistent with what that movement is and what is correct and what is not correct. And I
Well, and
think
sorry,
that's all right.
what I was gonna,
I just get frustrated with that.
yeah, I totally understand and I do as well. One thing that I've always heard, um, when you have an event like Aachen where everybody is scored, I'm going to say harshly, um, they say, well, as long as they stay consistent, it's not a big deal. And I understand for that competition, it's not as big a deal. But a lot of these countries now are picking their training lists, are picking their teams based off of stats, particularly through equa ratings. And those stats run off of the numbers from the event. So, for example, to make the developing rider list here in the United States, you have to have a sub 33, 36 finishing score. So
35.
35. Okay, whatever it is. The point is there's a score. You have to finish under at a long to
Yeah, but
guarantee.
I think that's wrong.
Okay, and maybe it is. I don't know that you're wrong. Now I know they can go beyond that score and they can say, well, this one didn't quite get it, but we want to talent spot them in. But if we're gonna base some of these lists off of this stuff, I think to your point, maybe it's wrong because then we need to know that that dressage score is fair, is a consistent mark. And if you can go now, I'm sure they would give an exception, but if somebody went to an event like Aachen where they're doing a 4 short and they,
And
everybody
off the
there's
record finished with the 36
right, exactly. Like that's
and was fourth.
right.
Yeah, I hear you, and I do see what the U.S. does. I don't know about other countries. I haven't really looked at theirs, but you're right. They say you need to have this box score, and I think that's wrong. I think we should be looking at the riders and their performances based on what they can do, and not qualify them by other people from other countries giving them a score that then makes them what we use for representing the United States. I think that's wrong.
Yeah, I agree. And I think I'm willing to bet, and I haven't had the conversations that a lot of the selectors here in the US would agree with you. I think they just would like to be able to just do the job and pick the horses and riders that they think are the best. And, if people disagree, then people disagree and you move forward from that. So anyway,
I
when I
I'm a,
watched
not a
when I watched Aachen, that's the thought that came to my head was like, wow, these are some difficult scores. And, we heard some comments on it from other judges, like some judges saying they were harsh, other judges saying, wow, that's the way it should be. And I think as we're getting better in dressage as a sport, then they're comparing us more and more to pure dressage. And that is a completely different beast. To me, that's
yeah,
apples and oranges. Yeah, they're
I
both
agree.
good, but they're totally different kinds.
Agree. And I don't know how we get out of that. It's really difficult. Uh, all I can do is the examples, and I don't know where we are as far as other ones other than the ones I'm going to say. Chipmunk and Michael Young, he's not a flashy big mover. I mean, the horse is just accurate and does the movements. And, I think we're going to hear from Phil that, there was a different scoring issues that maybe would have been larger than we think because of the factor. But the
Yeah.
other one that I can use is Lauren Nicholson on Bug. I mean, Bug came up the ranks, not scoring really well, but she got to be really good at being really accurate.
Yep.
And that's not a flashy mover, but he scored really well and was competitive. That's where we need to be.
Yes. 100%.
We need to be there.
Yep. And then, like that, those sorts of horses that are not great movers and can put in a super test, maybe they're on 8s, and then you might get one that is a super mover and can be accurate, and maybe that horse is on 9s, and that's okay. But this getting stuck on 6s and 7 things is getting pretty old.
Well, and I love our people out there, but I don't agree with this concept that there's a horse that steps into the ring and immediately it can't score more than a 7.
Yeah.
I don't agree with that. You can't have a horse handicapped negatively at a 7 before they even step in the ring. I don't get it.
I think that's most horses, honestly. I think most
Yeah.
judges, most of the judges, except the exceptional ones, score between a 6 to a 7.5, and that's their range.
Yeah, it's frustrating. And I don't know, John. I haven't looked back to see what diving gymnastics and ice skating did, but they did go through this 20 years ago. And they did some formulation. And look, we all complained, well, we can't afford more than 3 judges. Pure dressage has 5 or 6
Right.
for the championships.
You know what we should do? We're talking about all this AI stuff. That's how you introduce it, right? Is you make
Well, we need
AI one of the
AI.
judges. You make AI one. It doesn't have to be the judge. You make it one of the judges.
I agree.
Oh,
Because subjectivity, I mean, artistry is the biggest thing for AI. AI can't judge artistry.
right. Not yet.
But I think
Not yet.
one of the
Until
judges should be
Skynet
AI.
gets involved, and then Skynet is going to be able to do it for us.
It's going to come to AI. I mean, it is, but it's got to be thought out and figured out. And I think there is.
I don't know. I still see AI making pictures of horses with like 8 legs and their head coming out of the center of their
Well,
back.
look, people are now stuck in their houses with an AI boyfriend or girlfriend, and they're not leaving. So something, if they can do that, we can have a dressage judge.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Oh my God, please. Really? You can go create your own person and just stay home.
Okay, this is not that kind of show. This is a family show.
Just letting you know what's going on.
Okay, all right. I appreciate it. All right. Well, on that note, we should probably take a break and be back in a few minutes with the legend, Phillip Dutton.
I can't wait.
All right, let's do it. Thanks to Horse Trailer Pros. We're going to be right back with the Equibrew segment and Phillip Dutton.
Equibrew, now available in the USA. It's a live probiotic that you feed daily to your horses. The live microbes go into your horse's gut and cleans up the gut wall, creating a healthy gut system.
Equibrew is an essential part of my feeding program. My horses love to eat it, and it does a really good job of promoting gut health and also good behavior and great performances.
It's something I recommend for all of your horses, no matter what they do in their careers.
It's so affordable, I can use it on all of my horses in the barn, not just my top horses.
Order Equibrew today by going to brickfieldnutrition.com or calling 850-879-2649.
If you're in the horse world, you need to have a good lawyer. Whatever the size of your business, having the best legal support is paramount. Rick and I use our friend and attorney, Yvonne Okrant. She's a partner at Hinshaw & Culberson LLP, which is a national law firm with over 450 attorneys. She's been at this for over 24 years and is licensed in Illinois, Florida, and Wisconsin. Yvonne can help you with contracts for horse purchases, sales and leases, as well as equine activity liability, releases, and training and boarding contracts for individuals and entities. If you need help with a syndicate, she's done over 350 contracts and operating agreements for sport horses in all 3 disciplines. Whatever your legal need is, Yvonne can assist you. Call her at 312-704-3080 or email at yokrant@hinshawlaw.com.
Hi, my name is Caroline Pamuccio, and I'm here with Jump for Joy. These are one of my key training techniques I use at home. They're extremely easy to use. They're very safe. And the thing I love about it is that they fall down. They have safety cups on them, which are extremely important to me to keep me and the horse safe. I love the fact that Jump for Joy has these type of brush on the jumps. It's a really easy way to teach my young horses how to jump through brush properly. There's not a better jump on the market.
Grant Showalter has over 15 years of equine bodywork and saddle fitting experience. His technique allows him to identify and alleviate tightness in muscles. He uses trigger point massage to release points of restriction. Grant has over a decade of experience fitting and adjusting a wide variety of saddles. His expertise in equine physiology, coupled with a thorough understanding of the importance of a properly fitted saddle, allows him to quickly identify and correct any balance issues. Grant can also adjust your saddle on site. Grant works on all of my competition horses, and I have noticed a significant improvement in their performance at competitions and their overall way of going. Grant's based in Ocala, Florida year-round, but regularly travels to the surrounding areas. For more information or to schedule an appointment, call 484-639-4454.
Welcome back to the John and Rick Show, brought to you by Horse Trailer Pros. We are here with Aachen Team Silver Medalist and legend Phillip Dutton, and we are in the Equibrew segment. Phillip, thank you for joining.
Oh, my pleasure. Great to be with you guys.
You look incredibly fresh considering you flew back from Germany last night, so we appreciate you being on.
Thank you. Looks deceive.
Whatever it takes. Whatever it takes. So, I mean, it was a great performance really for the whole team, but really particularly for you, you had two horses solidly in the top 15, and happily you picked the correct one to be on, or the correct one got picked to be on the team. Um, you smoked around, man. I watched both your rounds last night because I was traveling and couldn't get my internet to work where I was, and you looked awesome.
Yeah, thank you. Firstly, it's such a privilege or honor to go to Aachen. It's just so cool, and obviously the eventing side of it aside, like to be around all the other, the great horses of dressage and jumping, and then obviously they have the driving competition going on. So it's kind of a very cool atmosphere to be in, and just training and watching and just being a part of it. So to all your listeners, if you want to have a good experience, that is a good horse destination to go. But yeah, my guys are great. I mean, they're still getting better, which is exciting for me, and hopefully both got a big future ahead of them. And it's a kind of a unique cross country. You have to go like hell to get the time, and it wouldn't be the biggest course that's ever built, but there's the time just makes it that much more difficult. And the horses don't get a lot of time to relax and chill out. They're constantly on the go, and so it made for an exciting competition right till the very end.
I mean, it really did. And like to that point, I know we want to kind of usually the format we do is we go through the competition, but I think what's fresh in my mind was that cross country. And um, like to your point, it seemed like a lot of people had really good rounds up through those double of corners, like the pencil corners, and then got into that last loop through the arena, and it was like a derby through that water and up to the Oxer and back to the keyhole. And I think it was Passante. You came just trying to fly down to the last to get the clock, and you just saw. I mean, everybody was fighting tooth and nail to just try to shave every second off they possibly could.
Yeah, and so it's it'll be interesting. They have got more. They used more land this year. I think they had made a deal with the local farmers, and so fences 1, 2, 3, and 4 were pretty nice and forward open galloping jumps. But then after that, and that was like at 1 minute, and it was a 6 minute 35 course, I believe. But then after that, there's a lot to do and a lot of jumps where you had to come in on a more of a controlled stride and a slowing up stride. The waters, I thought, I was one of the early ones to go out, and I said to Will and Boyd, like they really were riding well, just riding forward. So you didn't have to waste a lot of time setting up for those ones. And then what else they have? They had that coffin there with quite tall rails to a narrow out, which actually looked pretty 5-star-ish when you looked at it, but it actually rode pretty well.
Yeah, it looked a lot like the one at Terra Nova, I thought.
Yes, yeah, it could be. And then then the downhill angled hedges actually rode pretty well as well. Like that was a pretty severe angle, and a lot of the riders were spending quite a bit of time analyzing what they're going to do there.
Sure.
But horses are amazing when they pick up and the line is shown to them. They just look for, especially those experienced ones, and look for it and go for it.
Yeah, I find that interesting, Phil, that you mentioned that, because almost all the German riders went the long route. I think Calvin went the short route, and maybe another team member.
No, Calvin went long.
Did he go long? They all
Yeah.
did go long. Maybe one.
Mm.
It was weird. I was watching that because I did, to your point. I watched it from the beginning. We had the perspective of just watching you all go, and it looked like those that took it rode quite well, except for maybe two riders that got off the line.
Yeah. I mean, as far as the Germans go, I think they've got a bit of rebuilding to do. I think they didn't have many entries in the 5-star at Lemuelen, and then this was it was not as many here as well. And I know they do have the European Championships coming up, but like everybody, they've still got to keep bringing horses along to build in the pipeline as well.
What just transitioning a little bit, still staying on the cross country. The thing that I thought when I watched it, just as a bit of a side note, was it looked like the horses didn't cut into the ground terribly well there. Was it dry or was the ground good, or what? How would you rate that?
I think the ground is going to be very good. It was a little firm, like you thought, like your instinct was. They did have a bit of rain before it, but they have done a lot on the footing. Like for me, because I've been there a couple of times before, I mean, one of the criticisms might have been that the footing was not, was more like, they just moved in there and put the jumps there and haven't done much with the footing. But looks like they're doing a lot for next year. And there was a couple of gallop areas that we didn't use that I know they're working on as well. So I think I think the footing's only going to get better and better. But it wasn't too bad. Certainly wasn't rock hard, but it was, well within the range of being pretty good.
Right. I guess it looked to me like almost like the cross country going looked like the show jump going, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean the show jumping. I mean that arena is pretty amazing. I mean they only have one horse show a year there, and they just they look after the grass the whole year. But for it to stand up to the 5-star show jumping, I mean it is it's packed in there. They have a roller there to make it so it doesn't cut away too much. But there's an element of sand in the footing, so it's it's pretty good turf.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, just interesting. So one question which I should have started with because I wanted clarification here. I know you have Denim. How do you say the other horse's name? Because I've heard it both ways.
Passant.
It is Passant.
Yes.
Limpy.
I think I screwed that up. I think I screwed that up at Kentucky the entire time, so I apologize.
That's okay. We were laughing with you. I mean, at you.
Yeah, that's fine. That's
Hey,
the only thing I did wrong.
Let's talk about him a bit, Bill, because I remember the first time I saw you on that horse, and it was at Stable View, and I was with your wife, Evie, and I saw you in the warm-up coming in, and she had to catch me. I almost fell over. He is strikingly handsome and a really nice horse. I mean, how did you get your hands on that one?
Well, he became available, and I think Carol G was the one who told me about him. So I flew to England and tried him, and he's been had to take our time with him. There was a few little medical issues with him that I've had to sort of resolve and get better. But in a way, it's kind of helped because when you take over a horse from somebody else, it's just like getting a new friend in life. You got to take your time to get to know each other, and we've sort of done that. And yeah, he's a striking animal. He's beautiful, and he's a very kind horse as well, and personable, and likes people being around him. And so he's not a real, hungry, angry
Jeez Louise, hold
sort
on.
of start of a horse. He does like the nice things in life, and but he's going to be good on the flat as well, or he is quite good on the flat, and it's going to get better. And the part that actually you never know until you get out there, but we, as you saw, we went flat out from the time I left the start gates, and he was still going pretty good at the end. Like a lot of the horses were getting pretty tired, but I think he's got a pretty big engine there as well, so we'll be able to augurs well for the future.
That's good news. And then, I mean, you have a strong ownership team, which is really nice to have behind you. I know you have Caroline Moran, John Ingram, David and Patricia Voss, Jane and Austin Musselman for MP. So that's that's a strong ownership team.
Yeah, no, they've been great. And, as you guys know, or everybody knows, you have your ups and downs, and there's times when it's not going how you want, but they've been really good to me and stuck by me and believed in the horse. And so hopefully, he's got a big future ahead of him.
Then you got Denim. I mean, another cool, really nice horse. So tell us about that one.
Yeah, we got him as a late 6-year-old. And so Caroline owns him, and Annie Jones and Neil and Chip Seitz and Anne Lapidus. And Annie, did I say Annie Jones as well? Yeah. And so he's a 10-year-old now, and he's actually done quite a bit of traveling with me. Very talented, good jumper. He's still a bit on the baby side as far as muscling and strength. And, he's one of those ones that you can do the dressage warm up too long or the jumping warm up too long, like he wears out. And so we've had to, really try to get him stronger and fitter, and that doesn't happen overnight. But I was pleased with him. I was determined to try and go as quick as I could on him, and he's not the fastest horse, but he's he's getting better and better, and he was pretty competitive there on the weekend.
Yeah, and he's the one, if I recall, sorry, Rick, he's the one, if I recall, that just threw the mound down to the angled hedges, the tractors. I think he's the one that just gave a little wobble in there, and I had visions of was it Rio? I think it was, where you threw yourself over the brush, and you didn't have to go quite that far, but it was just a little wobble there where you could just see, okay, he's a couple years less experienced than Passant.
Yeah. I mean, he's pretty foot perfect the way around. He's got incredible technique, which is, nice to have, because you get to the bottom of the jump there and he's going to get those legs out of the road. And so he's learned, to be honest. I mean, left to his own, he wouldn't be the bravest horse ever, but he's through our partnership together, he's really starting to trust everything I'm asking him to do, and and getting pretty reliable, and he jumps very straight, and it's fun to be a part of it, and watch them grow and get better as each year comes along.
And he's another good one on the flat too in the dressage. I mean, you've gotten really good scores on these horses. Tell us about this. There's been a lot of talk about Aachen's dressage and the outcome of the scores. To me, I think they could have been better, but they all seem to be consistently within the realm of everybody. Did you feel that? I mean, I thought you had a beautiful test on both horses.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to tell you about the dressage. I mean, you guys, we've been doing this for certainly 30 years, and probably the biggest complaint about our whole sport is the dressage judging. And, the actual score number probably doesn't matter as long as, like you say, they stay the same. I did feel there was a lot of inconsistencies there. I believe it was Laura Collette. One judge had her on a 36 and one had her on a 29. Well, to me, they're looking at two different tests if they're scoring like that, So, and I don't think that anybody, I know nobody's out there to try to judge badly or not be fair, but it's just, there is that inconsistency there. And from a rider's point of view, that's, it's hard to know where to aim for and what you're after. I mean, I would say, maybe it's not in our generation, but in the future, somewhere in the future, AI should be able to do this pretty well, where you could formulate a program where the best judges in the world come together and decide, this is a 6, this is a 7 for a flying change, et cetera, and then just have cameras around there. And I mean, again, nobody's ready for that yet, but I think that would be a way where you canter down the center line in Australia or anywhere, and it's going to be the same score, doesn't virtually. So.
I think you're going to be shocked, Bill, that's probably coming faster than we all think. I know there's a open discussion. Lucinda's been leading it with a lot of people on that issue, and there's some that are high tech on it. And I agree with you. We got to go somewhere. I know ice skating, diving, gymnastics all had the subjective debacle about 10 years ago. I don't know why we weren't able to kind of go along those lines to try to figure out the subjective point of doing it.
Right.
But AI might be coming faster than we think.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm certainly the least techie out of everybody, but it certainly won't. I don't know. I think, to our point, it's, again, once you finish the show jumping, the cross country, you probably forget about the dressage a bit, but it is, it's a constant source of discussion. Like Michael Young's huge lead at Kentucky. I mean, the guy deserved to win, but I'm not sure that the amount of he was that much better than everybody else on the flat. So that sort of takes away from it a little bit, and
No,
but
totally.
it spoils the competition a bit.
I agree with you. I think that's one thing we need to work on. And just on those lines, though, I can tell you this: you're an amazing rider. You've been doing this for many, many years. We've been involved in watching you over the years. I've never seen you ride dressage better in my whole entire life. What the heck is going on?
Yeah, I did get drug tested there. I wonder if they're thinking.
I think
I don't know. I
you're
just try to
really-
I just try to improve every day and try to get a little bit better. And a lot, as you guys know, a lot depends on the horse flesh you have, and they've got to they can make you look good too, as if you have the right horses.
Well, take us to show jump.
Show jumping. Well, this is pretty unique there in Aachen, because that is such an amazing big arena. Like, you'd never get to jump in an arena this big, and so and it's like I said before, they only use it once a year, so the grass or the surface is sort of manicured for it. So I actually, Lauren Huff come over to help me, and with Impy, the show jumping has been our Achilles heel, or the part that we have to work on the most. And so it sort of was great for me to have her there and walk the course with me, and to sort of give your listeners a little bit of an idea. It's such a rush, as in the scheduling of it, because there's so many classes, so many show jump classes going on in that arena, and there's so much dressage going on that we did the dressage in the morning, and then there was a scheduled walk. It was meant to be 5 o'clock, and then we were meant to start show jumping at 6, but then the class before hadn't finished, so then the walk didn't start until 5:15, and so you're literally running around the course, and then getting back to, and then they have screens out in the warm up, and so I walked the course quickly, and then watched Caroline do her round on the screen out in the warm up, and then got ready. So it's a bit of a hassle, it's a bit of a rush, and you need plenty of people there to have the horse ready for me, and then be there ready, have a jump ready for me. And it was quite stressful to get through there. It's not like any other event. And then the arena, like I mentioned, is big and huge, and so there's a lot of galloping in between. And so I had to make sure that I didn't land and start setting up for the next jump. I landed and galloped away. And yeah, Impy, I had the one fence down the back rail of that oxer coming off the turn, and I think I just it was a steady 4 strides to the oxer, steady 4 strides to the black narrow, which I didn't like the look of that too much, and so I was coming around, and I was maybe I started to steady up a little bit for the four strides before I got over the oxer. So he had that down, but overall it's been a huge improver in the show jumping, and so I'm excited about that. And Denham, he's a spooky little bugger, but he's a great jumper and very careful. So he jumped his normal best, and I think I had a 1 second over, so it was a 0.4 there. But it's not a big show jumping course by any standards, but putting the whole package together by being in this big arena that the horses don't get to usually go in, and there's big water trays everywhere, and a lot of stuff to take their attention away. So it was a great experience to go in there and jump those 2 up and coming horses around.
Yeah, I mean, I watched both the rounds, and they were incredible. And I was like, I thought you were going to make the double on Denham, and it was just 1 second late. So, but great job. So the rest of the team, I know Will had a double clear, and so did Boyd.
Boyd did, yeah.
Yep. And so that really kind of secured. I know Denham was individual, but you had the one on Basant, and then unfortunately Caroline had a couple rails. But overall, on your team experience there, I mean, a solid team. Next year, I don't know if a lot of people know this, it's the World Championships are at Aachen, so this was a good lead up for everybody there. How do you feel about the U.S. team right now, John? do we have time on this, or what are we joining down on our segment?
It's the John and Rick show. We can do whatever we want.
So tell me, let's go back to my question. Tell me about, before we finish with Aachen, the silver medal thing, just your team experience with these, a group of people that you've been with a lot. And how was that experience over there?
Yeah, no, it was good. We went and we based in Belgium, which was about in a facility there that was probably an hour and a half away from Aachen. And that was a kind of a test run for next year as well to see what that was like. And that worked well. So we were there, I don't know, 2 or 3 days. And, you know, obviously very experienced team. I mean, Caroline would be the greenest, and she's already ridden at the Olympics. So it's a pretty experienced team. And we all got along well. And, you know, I think in that situation, the main thing you just got to be respectful of everybody, you know, so that, you know, you can do your own thing, but make sure that you know, turn up on time and do all the basic stuff that you're meant to do to be a part of it. And then we have, you know, a new regime there looking after us now with Leslie Law and Karen Schroeder. And so that's, you know, they were sort of figuring things out and how it's all working. But from my point of view, they were great. It was very professionally run, and they were not trying to overmanage anybody. You know, one of the reasons you're picked is because you've had pretty good performances. So they weren't trying to change anything too much, but just trying to add to our performances. So, you know, I think overall everybody's excited about, you know, the future. You know, there's always, everybody needs more horses, and horsepower is the key to doing well. So we're, you know, just got to make sure that there's enough, everybody's got enough horses coming along to you know, so that we can keep the standard going and getting better every year.
Well, let's keep this going, but let's keep it going right after we take a break. And I want to get into some other stuff. I have a couple of big topics I want to talk about right after we take a break, if you'll stick around, Phil.
Sure.
Thanks, Equibrew.
Thank you to Equibrew. We didn't say this, but it is an awesome live probiotic. I was just talking to Rick about needing my order again soon. You guys want to check it out. It is great stuff. All my horses get it. They all love it. I bet Philip's horses would love it too. So let's take a break and we'll be right back. Big thanks to Equibrew.
For a horse owner on the road, your trailer is essential. No one enjoys being stuck on the road. At Horse Trailer Pros, we repair, renovate, and maintain all makes and models of horse trailers. We work directly with your insurance company or manufacturer for warranty repairs and insurance claims. Our state-of-the-art facility provides quick turnaround and friendly customer service. Considering a living quarter conversion? We do those too. Find comfort on the road with Horse Trailer Pros. Call or text 352-804-2131. HorseTrailerPros.com.
Another thing I love about Jump for Joy is that the jumps are so easy to move. It takes me and one other person to make a whole new cross-country questions. No tractors needed. I've got a lot of different sort of questions I've been able to design with these jumps. Set up some really difficult angled hedges, bank out the water to an angled hedge, and have these really nice skinnies. And another great thing is they have these amazing flags, so the horses always understand the jump between the flags.
All right, so we're here with Sally Spickard, and I wanted to mention the new podcast, Go Eventing. Sally, it is going to be great.
Yeah, we're really excited about it. It's going to have bi-weekly episodes. We're going to have about 20 episodes for you in 2025. So we're very excited to have kicked this thing off, and would love for everybody to take a listen. So I think we'll all do a lot of the same things, but you know, I think more podcasts in the eventing space especially is going to be really cool.
Yeah, I really like the idea. And Will Faudree is the first guest that you're having. What a great first guest to have.
Absolutely, yeah.
Everybody out there need to watch or listen to your show on all the podcast outlets.
Yep.
And you can go to Eventing Nation's
eventingnation.podbean.com is the main podcast page. So you can listen to it there or on your favorite podcast platform.
Go Eventing.
Go Eventing.
Hey, it's John here. I just want to let you guys know I got back from schooling at Magnolia Sands Farm here in Ocala, Florida. Their cross-country field is perfectly suited for a first outing on a young horse or schooling your upper-level horse. Magnolia Sands offers over 110 jumps ranging from starter to intermediate, plus multiple banks, ditches, and waters. They're constantly updating their courses and have even added new ditches and a starter ditch wall. Conveniently located in Northeast Ocala, Magnolia Sands has made it easy for riders and trainers with online waivers, Venmo, and PayPal, and even offer a golf cart for guests. MagnoliaSandsFarm.com. Since 1950, Maison Forestier has been offering its know-how to design custom-made saddles for passionate riders. In 2016, Maison Forestier took a turn and expanded into the sports world with the goal of improving the performance of the rider-horse pair. You will find a professional, reactive, and fun team to answer your needs. And this is why I have chosen Forestier for all of my saddlery needs. Feel free to contact the saddle expert in your area for more information by visiting www.forestier.com.
Welcome back to the John and Rick Show, brought to you by Horse Trailer Pros. We are here with the legendary, as John introduced him, Phil Dutton. And thanks for staying with us. And we're going to talk a little bit about John's big, huge questions that he has for you, Phil. So go ahead, John.
Okay. I may have oversold. So one thing you hit on in the last segment about Aachen was that there's all this stuff going on. And I think for that competition, that's kind of what makes it, right? Like, it is obviously a special place. When I see it, it looks like, to me, being from over here and being in Florida, it looks like WEC does cross country. Like, if WEC had a cross country course, it seems to be on par with some place like that. Is that fair?
Yeah, no, it's fair. I mean, certainly the WEC would be, more grandiose or fancier. I mean, I think that what I was also getting at is the standard of the dressage and horses and
Right.
show jumping horses and driving, like just the best of the best go there. So it's that part of it as well.
Right. So when I was hearing you say that, it brought me back to some conversations that were happening during Kentucky, where not everybody, but a few people were bothered by the fact that the show jumping was going on and how it was detracting from the main focus of the weekend, which was supposed to be the 5-star. I kind of looked at it because I didn't have a horse there, and I haven't had a horse there in a few years. Probably more than that, if I'm being honest, but I haven't been there in a while. So when I looked at it, I was like, I think it's great. It adds stuff for people to come in and spectate and see and be a part of. And, I didn't see it detracting from eventing as much as making the weekend of the Defender Kentucky 3-day event a bigger deal. But you've ridden at Kentucky while this stuff is going on. You've just been to Aachen, and you've been there numerous times, I know, but you've just recently home from Aachen. How do you feel about all this stuff going on at Kentucky? Do you think it takes away? Do you think they should do more of it? Do you think it's about right?
No, I mean, I think it's, it's great. I think it's great having the jumping there. I mean, I think they could even have dressage there. And so, I mean, I don't want to be a headache for the organizers. And obviously the priority is still got to be the 5-star 3-day event. But I think the more that they can put there, the better. The more reason you get people to come in the gate and to watch and or live stream or however they're going to make it work. It's the more they can do it, the better. I don't feel that we should be threatened by that. I think the people that like the sport, like horses in general, or like equestrian sport, and would benefit. They're not going to. I don't think they're going to walk away and not come again. It's only going to add to it.
Right. Yeah, that was kind of my thoughts on it. It was interesting to hear people upset about it. So anyway, I just thought that was interesting. I'm glad to hear you feel the same way about it, and that I'm not way off base on that.
I'm gonna swing it back around real quick.
Yep.
Back to Aachen, just because on the final day, y'all were in fourth going cross country, and it was exciting to watch, because slowly toward the end we started moving up, and I was shocked when Great Britain had the two flukes that they had that knocked y'all right up to second, but y'all held your own cross country and did a really good job of really keeping the heat on. So how was that for y'all, standing in the wings, kind of watching this, go on?
Yeah, I mean, it is exciting, and it's we're not out there wishing everybody's going to have a run out or what, but when somebody does, you do have a little bit of a cheer. So it's it's it all happens so quickly. You kind of finish, cool your horse down, and then my groom took him back and to look after him back at the stabling, and so then you sort of all congregate at in the main warm-up arena, and they have a huge big screen there, and so it's kind of, so we all just sort of hung out together and watched it as it unfolded. And then obviously Boyd was our fourth rider, but we'd drawn reasonably early on, so we got to watch more after he finished as well.
Yeah, and so was somebody there number crunching for y'all, or did you already?
Yeah, I mean they're all Karen is pretty good at that, and so everybody's sort of number crunching and saying how much, like we sort of knew for what Tim Price had to do to keep winning, to
right.
How many seconds he could have, and so everybody's sort of got a fair idea of how it's working.
Well, I got to give a shout out to Will Coleman and Off the Record, because what a run he had, and I wish he was just 0.8 over, 2 seconds over, and looking at it, he could have been on the podium with the bronze with 2 seconds, but hey, he had a great go, and same with Boyd. So, and Caroline, all of y'all did a great job at Aachen, and we're proud of all of you.
Silver medal. I think I didn't actually get to see Will's round, but I can go back and watch it. But everybody said it was the round of the day, and Caroline, it's an incredible horse, and she's an incredible rider, and coming back from she's still got a little baby on her side as well, so it's a pretty major performance. And then I think this horse of Boyd's, is Connor, is looking pretty impressive for him, and to be able to come back, it's a pretty quick turnaround from doing the 5-star long at Kentucky and then getting ready for Aachen. So he did a good job of giving him a little break, but then prepping him for this as well. And it wouldn't be, it's not that this kind of course is not suited to a lot of the more open 5-star horses. Like it's a lot of more adjusting, just the same as Impy. It wouldn't be not that suited to him as well, being a bigger horse, that a little bit like steering the Titanic around the course there. So, but they've all got it's all a good experience for the horses and the riders for that matter.
Yeah. Well, and I know John watched it after vacation. I watched it. It's not unfortunately. I woke up at 3:30 in the morning over here, and because I'm on this chain with Lucinda and the dings were going off, so I got to watch it live. So it's cool when you watch it live and not do like a playback. So I was very enthralled with all of y'all. That you did a good job. So thanks for bringing home the silver medal.
So it was a great event.
So, Phil, one thing that I just wanted to kind of announce here on the show with you, and you don't know anything about this, and neither does Rick. The USEA is about to launch another huge, big fundraiser for Frangibles. So we have to replenish the coffers for the Frangible Fence Fund, for the safety fund here in the US. It's been a huge success getting all these fences out on the course worldwide. And quite honestly, we here in the States have been one of the leaders in that with the huge fundraising efforts that have happened over the years. You are a pretty big proponent of frangible technology, certainly one of the, I don't know if I'd say most vocal, but most willing to talk about it and supportive of it, of sort of the top riders. So I just am sort of curious, your thoughts on it, concerns you've had with frangible fences. I know obviously, I guess I wouldn't say it's a conflict, but one of your biggest supporters is Dave Voss, who is a huge proponent of frangible technology, and he and I are on the risk management committee with the FEI. But I guess what I'm looking for is a little bit of a testimonial from Phillip Dutton why we need to do this.
Okay, everybody, get out there and spend your money. Give your money to John and this frangible fund, because it is definitely, from a safety point of view, for the future of the sport, from from the horses' point of view, riders' point of view, owners, everybody. It's a no-brainer, and it's, you know, we're change is not easy for a lot of people. And, you know, I know they've run an event in the UK where every jump was frangible, and that's probably not that practical or feasible to do. But I mean, I think there must be a way that we can incorporate this throughout the world, and especially, you know, all credit to John, you and Dave, and you're kind of leading the way a bit throughout the world. But if we can incorporate this, and even if it cuts back on one death, that would be worth all the money spent, you know, and all the effort, you know. And it's you know, I've compared things to the Formula One racing. You know, they virtually, you know, they were losing drivers there quite a bit, and like some of the crashes they have now because of the technology and because of the improvements in the cars and the safety. I mean, you know, they walk away from them now, and we've got to, you know, I would like to think that we're all going to be like that, where we can, you know, try to improve our riding, try to improve our training, try to improve the footing and everything else. But this is just another part that hopefully we can all embrace and just take on and, you know, save a catastrophic fall.
Yeah, well, thank you for that. And I guess, you know, obviously the downside of it is the question of how much does it drastically change the sport? And have you gone out on course, had a frangible fall, and had it lose you a competition? Has that happened to you?
Yeah, I had a frangible at Terranova with Danham actually,
Right.
and so that, you know, put him out of it. But you know, I think that it's still a learning process, and I think we'll get better at it. And there been cases where, you know, it's broken and somebody's got penalized for it, and they probably shouldn't have been. Well, yes, there is, but you know, there's times when, you know, it's going to be. I think we've got to look at it as a, how do we make it better? How do we make it fairer? And you know, and I think you and I have talked about, you know, the galloping fences probably should be have a higher braking degree than some of the other ones, you know, so you can vary it a bit. But I think it's only going to improve. The technology is going to improve, and that's part of life. That, you know, from time to time, you know, if we keep an eye on the safety of it, and then, you know, every now and again it mightn't be quite fair, but I think in the big picture, it's definitely something that we've got to embrace.
I think that's well said. I agree with you, Phil, that, you know, sometimes this might happen, but in the long run, the safety of our sport's the most important thing. And if even if that activation wasn't, you know, thought to be or should have happened, I think maybe the technology learns from it, and you might have to just take that as a point of giving in to having better technology for the frangible. So I agree with you.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for that, Philip. That's going to all be, I mean, it's like real close to getting started. So we got to do that. And the other thing that we got to make sure we do is all of the riders, we have to make sure we're personally giving to that fund as well. So any of you guys who are listening to this,
Where do we go?
it's going to be on, I will make sure that I post all of this on all of the John and Rick Show social media stuff, as well as my own personal stuff. And I'll send it off to all of you guys as well. But there's going to be a QR code. You're gonna be able to just scan the QR code, and that'll take you to the US Eventing Foundation, where you'll be able to make a donation to the foundation there. But there's a couple, you can donate immediately, but we wanna, like last time, there's hopefully gonna be some matching funds stuff going on. And so we wanna make sure that everything is all set to go so that we can raise the most money possible for it. So we're like literally days away from having.
So I have a question: is the donations that, I mean, we know who donates, right? They're not anonymous, correct?
Correct. So
maybe we can give a goal to somebody that if they give the highest amount, we can put them on the show.
Well, and that's a good point. I'll find out on that. We can talk about that in
Okay.
the next show, because I don't know if amounts are on there, but one of the things that's super important is that we have all of the athletes give. That's really going to be a big key to this particular fundraiser. So
Good job,
Philip,
John.
back to your horses. So we've got Passant and Denim. You did your 4 long on Julian at Tryon. What these horses, obviously, you were aiming for Aachen all year. I'm assuming that was kind of your plan.
Yeah, probably not Julian, but those two were.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah,
mean.
yeah,
Sorry, the
yeah,
two you had there.
yeah.
Yes. So with that in mind, they didn't do a long this spring. So
Correct. Yeah.
do you have something like that planned for the autumn, and what is it?
Yeah, I mean, I think, yeah, it's interesting. That's an interest leads to a different topic as well. But for those two, yes, they need to get qualified for the World Championships, which they're not at this stage because the qualification started in January 1st, and I haven't done a 4 long on them. So at this stage, I'll probably aim for Morven Park with them both in the 4 long. But that's kind of an interesting sidebar in that, it's interesting watching the different countries now. Like the 5 star is not necessarily what everybody's aiming for now. Like in Britain, obviously everybody wants the Brits, most people, they all want to do a 5 star. And a lot of the other countries are sort of just sticking in that 4 star level, 4 star short level, and doing enough to get to these championships. And I mean, I don't know that there's the FEI. There's not a really set out, what's the ultimate here? You know what I mean? Like there's the 5 stars sort of are there, but they're not getting as many entries as they probably would like. And a lot of these guys are, don't feel that they've got to do a 5 star to be the best in the world anymore. And so it's kind of an interesting time that we're at. And, I think from the organizing point of view of these 5 stars, it's hard enough for them to make ends meet, especially if they don't have a big field,
Yeah, no, for sure. You see that at Kentucky. I mean, that 4 star short class is packed, and
Yeah.
then you have the 5 star, which is the feature class, but it's a much smaller class.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well, I think to your point, Phil, is also it's a different type horse for the championships than it is for a 5 star. So I mean, and at this discussion, I've had it with several people. What's ultimately going to happen to the 5 star, and I think that we do need to still cultivate the prospects of having a 5 star horse. It might not be your championship horse, but it's still something to go after. Maybe the 5 star, the 7 5 stars could come up with some 5 star championship like they used to. I know they used to have, the 3 Grand Slam thing, but they need to maybe come up with something else for this 5 star.
Yeah, and it's also hard, in a year, like let's say for next year, the World Championships, like then a lot of those horses won't be doing a fall event, so it takes away. So there's it's an interesting stage that the sport's in.
Agreed
So
with
are
you.
you like wondering, I'm just kind of reading between the lines, are you wondering if the shorts should be some part of the qualifier on that for the championships?
No, I don't think that would be the case. I think the long needs to be, we need to stick with that, I believe.
Yeah,
because
I agree.
I think that, that's kind of the ultimate is those, like you can see a horse in the Kentucky Derby, they're in the lead until the last 100 meters, but the last 100 meters, that's really counts. And the same in our sport, like those last couple of minutes, they really count, and they sort of sort out the horses and the riders, and how fast you can set out at the beginning and that kind of thing. And like, so no, I think I'm a big proponent of the long, and think it would be I think the sport would deteriorate if it did just go back to being short formats. But so, and I'm, personally, I like the 5 stars as well. So, but I'm just making a point that not everybody sort of sees it that way now.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And when I talk to the guys, especially in mainland Europe, I mean, they're not even shy about it. A lot of them see no point to it.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I still want them.
Which is a shame.
It is a shame.
Now, I know we didn't give a shout out to the most important people that are with you with these horses. So, Aaron, wasn't her birthday over there? When was Aaron's birthday?
Yeah, that was right. So she was over there, and she's my Arendeo, she lives in Florida actually, and she just comes in and helps me when I travel with the horses. And she's got a big love affair going on with Impy. Her and Impy get along so well. So he's like the tallest horse in the barn, and she's tiny, but I never thought she'd even be able to get his bridle on. But he puts his head down for her and lets her put her bridle on for her, and like it's pretty cute to watch. And then Emma
and
Yana,
Jake.
yeah, she ended up coming over. She flew over with us and helped out with Denim, and so she's just been with us about 6 months now, but she's working out great, and it's a big part of what we do.
That's awesome. I just want to make sure they got a shout out because
Yeah,
I did see in your post that you also Jake Tesler too.
Yeah, Jake's our summer employee. He just comes
Gotcha.
when he's in not
Kind
at
of holding
school.
down the fort.
Yeah.
Very good. Well, it sounds like it was a great thing. So after Aachen with the silver medals, did y'all go do anything?
No, we drove back to Brussels that night and stayed in Brussels because we had a flight out early next morning. But
There you go.
I mean, I
Never
would have
end.
liked this. I probably should have stayed over and watched the Grand Prix on Sunday, but that would have been pretty amazing to be there. But I'd been away, and there's stuff going on. My Olivia's a little bit injured, so I've got a bit of riding to do now.
Uh-oh.
She's gonna be all right, she's
let's
gonna be
talk
all right
about-
though.
Yeah, she's gonna be fine. Yeah.
So let's just a father-daughter thing, and Bill, I can relate to you because you've got several daughters. I have one and a son that used to ride, but watching, I think they talk about you and Evie watching Olivia go out, and it's a different feel. I don't know how it is for you. I feel better if I can watch like the screens with them going all the time because I know my kid pretty well when she's riding. How do you feel when she goes out? If you can't see her, are you okay? Or do you like to watch it on the live screen? What do you got?
Yeah, I like to watch it. Evie doesn't. She doesn't want to watch at all, and that's just her thing. She wants to just listen to the announcer.
Right.
Yeah, no, it's not easy, as you know, Rick. It's and all she wants to do it, and obviously we've had the tragedy with Lily, and but she wanted to do it as well, so it's you kind of know what can happen, and but so my job, I feel my job now is to make sure she's mounted well, and I teach her well and get her the best help she can possibly do so that she can hopefully do it as safe as she can.
She's doing great, and I know Sia Clouds is a great one for her to get started on. That horse, I saw it at the Jockey Club with you, and I think it had a couple rails there. And then after that show, I never saw it have many rails after that. Cool horse, thoroughbred, goes back to Seattle Slew, which is really cool. Great horse for her. I know she's had some trouble in Europe with it, but what a foundation horse for her to be on.
Yeah, no, she's doing it, and now she's taking over Juland as well. So she's going to have a nice couple of horses, and she can take her time and gradually, be she's sort of at the 4-star level now, and I think she'd like to move up the next level, but all in good time.
All right. Well, we wish you the best of luck with that.
All right. Well, Phillip, thank you. We kept you a little longer than we told you we would. We appreciate you sticking around, and I know you've got lots of stuff to catch up on at home. So say hello to the whole family for us, please. And we will see you at an event soon, I'm sure. And again, congratulations and thank you.
Thank you, guys. It's been fun catching up with you all.
All right.
Thanks,
So
Phil.
thank you, everybody, for watching this episode of the John and Rick Show. As always, brought to you by Horse Trailer Pros. They are awesome. We thank Horse Trailer Pros more than we can thank them. So we'll be back in a couple weeks' time with another great episode. And thanks again. We have an awesome show for you guys today.
The greatest eventer of all time.
Good news for the sport.